Now, if you didn't watch the game and you're just looking at the box score, or you're going by the little ESPN ticker on the bottom of your screen, the little CNN joint, and you see the score, you'll sit there and say, 7-man, young 7-man, the youngest of 7-man, the greatest there's ever been. Young 7-man. What is there to take from this game? We beat the Lakers, who cares? Obviously, we were supposed to. But if you didn't watch, you missed a very, very entertaining game. You see, it wasn't just the Kyrie Irving show, it was the everyone show. And we're going to spend the next couple minutes highlighting individuals who don't really get much shine because there's always so much drama with this team. But before we do that, welcome back to Nets Republic. I'm your host, Sever the Bond. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you have not already. Again, y'all watching the videos, you might as well subscribe so you can see every single post-game video. You feel me? This ain't a one-off. Every single post-game video. And while you're at it, give the video a like. You might as well. You might as well. If not, you're a beardless Harden. If not, you're a headbandless Bruce Brown. Now, how does that make you feel about you and yours? Anyway, today we are going to discuss how everyone stepped up and did their part and did their job. I would like to acknowledge, just to keep the consistency, of course, Kyrie Irving, yet again, on his own, led us to a victory. Now, it wasn't like he was carrying the team on his back because he had a lot of help from everyone else. But if we're strictly speaking on the fact of does Kyrie equate to winning, this was another performance where by himself, he was able to lead us to a victory. So I will give Kyrie that. Shout out to Mr. Kyrie Irving. And per usual, he had about 5 or 6 plays where he did something incredible, where you're just sitting there with your jaw on the floor saying, how did he do it? And I just want to remind everyone, just for a quick second, because I just want to do my part, just to keep the Kyrie Irving stands in line real quick. Now, there have been several reasons why there has been criticism on Kyrie Irving. And one of the main things as of recent, I have gone to his skill and his ability to play basketball and if he is quote unquote that guy. And while I believe that is still up in the air and very debatable, we don't have to worry about that for much longer because Kyrie is holding it down until Kevin Durant gets back. What I want to make sure that we don't, just sweep under the rug and forget about, we're not going to forget about Kyrie's stance with, I don't think I can say that on Nets Republic. Never mind. I will continue on the video. I don't think I can go there on Nets Republic. So we'll leave Kyrie alone for a second, and I'll find a way to reword that and come back to a different time, possibly. Because I don't think I can say what I was about to say here on Nets Republic. We'll keep it strictly basketball for right now. Shout out to Kyrie Irving for hitting a shot and doing his job. Basketball-wise and on the court, he is doing that. Off the court, we could have various conversations, but I don't think I can approach it the way I was just about to here on Nets Republic. If this was the old Sever the Bond days, we'd be getting in it, but I don't think I can say what I was about to say, but that's not here there. So enough of Kyrie. Let's talk about how Claxton didn't have the most amazing game, but still played well. But in the absence of a dominant Claxton, we got a Day'Ron Sharpe sighting. Now, we all know that Day'Ron Sharpe is that guy. We all know Day'Ron Sharpe is one of them dudes. He's one of them dogs, if you will. He's one of them doggy dogs, if you will. And tonight he showed it. Even when he got into foul trouble, he was still dominant. He was still handling his business against Thomas Bryant, of all individuals. Played very, very well. And that other center that came off the bench. LeBron and Anthony Davis didn't play, so we didn't get to see like the show we really wanted to see, Claxton versus AD, but I liked what I saw from Day'Ron Sharpe. Didn't Mans have like 14 rebounds or something like that? Like, he does stuff like that in the G League all the time, and we never get to see it because he doesn't get playing time. And for a team that seems so limited in terms of centers, I don't understand why Day'Ron Sharpe doesn't get more minutes. I know Ben Simmons will play like a stand-in small ball 5 at times. I know we have Markieff Morris, who I've never understood how he equates to a center, but when we do the small ball stuff, like, I understand that. I just don't understand how we can moan and complain about Naz Reid this and we need a center that when we got Day'Ron Sharpe sitting right there. Something else I've been begging for that thankfully was answered by Jacques Vaughn tonight has been my thing of, yes, it's cool when Seth Curry or Patty Mills steps up in the absence of Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving. But when we really need a consistent bucket, we always hit the TJ Warren shuffle when we got Cam Thomas right there. And Cam Thomas, again, got consistent minutes and went out there and annihilated the Lakers. Now, it's the Lakers, but he still had a great showing. And while we as Nets fans been knew, we been knew these two are incredible, it's nice to see them get some real recognition. They're a part of the Stay Ready crew, but I'm glad they went out there and they actually got a chance to shine for real, for real. I credit the both of those two for the victory tonight. Kyrie Irving was getting a lot of defensive attention. A lot of fouls were coming his way from Patrick Beverley and Mr. Schroeder. But, every time Kyrie plays Schroeder, someone's getting smacked around. But that's neither here nor there. I don't know if you can remember back to the last time that we had a healthy LaMarcus Aldridge, if you will. It was when we played the Lakers and Schroeder let a certain word out and Kyrie absolutely lost his mind. That was the last time that we saw LaMarcus Aldridge before he retired, only to come back the next season, but that's neither here nor there. But in the absence of Kyrie being as amazing as he normally is, it was great to see everyone else pick up the slack. And that's not saying Kyrie had a bad game. Kyrie had a great game. It was just very human. And we're used to superhuman from that man, but he had a very normal type game. But everyone else stepped up, so he didn't really need to do anything like that. Joe Harris, we could do a Harris huddle. I don't really think he did anything outstanding. I might be incorrect. I'm not looking at the box score, so maybe it was outstanding. Looked like a run-of-the-mill Joe Harris game for me, but that's not here nor there. Seth Curry also didn't exactly go out of this world with the threes. He had some very impressive layups, but nothing to write home about from his performance. It was really Patty Mills who had the big punch off the bench. Patty couldn't miss. Patty was getting steals, the 50-50 balls, all that type of hustle. Only thing we didn't see from him is him doing the blue collar boy thing. But there's no Blake Griffin, so I guess it wouldn't make sense for him to put the hard hat on and the two boots, but that's not here nor there. But I thought Patty Mills played really, really well. And as much as it is a running gag here on Nets Republic, whether you're following us on Twitter or seeing my commentary here, that it's definitely time for Patty Mills to go on somewhere, and we're wasting money having him on the team, and he's just Ben Simmons' emotional support animal. It's very cool to see him step up and do his job, and we tend to we tend last year, 10, what's past tense of 10? We tend to, last year, we ran Patty Mills into the ground because Kyrie Irving was missing, again, for off-the-court shenanigans, which I'll find a way to get back to that at some point, just not tonight. But we ran him into the ground. It's best to use Patty Mills sparingly like this, and I thought that this was a great example of that. Someone who I am concerned that we might be running them into the ground. A lot of people say Kyrie. I'm not really concerned about that. He'll be fine, because when KD comes back, Kyrie's going to go back to having open shots and open looks, so it really doesn't matter how much we're using him, as much as Kyrie wants to complain about it in post-game interviews, which again I find just so laughable, but that's not even there. Oh God, you have to go out there and be a star. Wow, the expectations. I'm just having to play so many. Wow, Kai, but that's not here there. But someone who I am concerned that we are running them into the ground is Royce O'Neale. Royce O'Neale has been having some really good games from behind the arc. He's been having some really good games defensively, and I think the stuff he does on defense is not really being highlighted enough. Again, we do a lot of focus on the big three and their shenanigans and the general team state, but we don't really have time to get into the other players. I am worried that we are running Royce O'Neale into the ground. The way that he fights every single possession defensively against centers. We got him out there switching on centers. He's getting knocked around. He's getting clocked. How many times do we see him after a possession, be it offensive or defense? He's coming away like this, holding his nose or holding his eye or something like that. It's crazy stuff. And if he had the anatomy of Ben Simmons, his knee would be hurt with the amount of times that he gets hit in the face, but that's neither here nor there. But seriously, I am concerned that we might be running Royce O'Neale into the ground. And I think in the past, when we've had players like this that play that utility belt role, be it a Bruce Brown or a better example is really a Jeff Green, we need them to come through when it really matters in the playoffs. You remember when Jeff Green and Kevin Durant, I believe it was game 5 of the second round against Milwaukee. I think it was game 5. When those two just assassinated Milwaukee from 3, Jeff Green was playing out of his mind. That's the type of stuff I can see as far as the secret weapon type tool belts that we can be getting into with matchups with other teams in the playoffs. I think there's going to be so much attention on stopping Claxton, stopping Kevin Durant, stopping Kyrie Irving, that they are going to leave open and completely forget Aboot, a Seth Curry, a Patty Mills, obviously Cam Thomas if he plays, but more importantly, Royce O'Neale. And I just worry that the wear and tear of this season is going to take such a toll on him that he won't have anything left in the playoffs. Not just the energy on defense, but being able to get these shots up and hit them in the playoffs when it matters. And, in Utah, he played basically the same way, the whole 3-and-D, type deal. But was he asked to guard centers the way he does with our team? I mean, he had Rudy Gobert, which, Rudy's not exactly the most credible defender of all time, but allegedly on paper, he holds it down in the paint. With all the switching that we do, it doesn't matter if KD's out there and Claxton's out, it doesn't really matter because Royce O'Neale is always getting jacked up by someone down low in the post, which is fine. It's what he signs up for. It's what he's here for. I'm just concerned that a vital piece like that could mess around and have an injury or just get worn down. You see with TJ Warren, you ask him to play a very consistent role off the bench of go get buckets until the dudes come back in the game, and he wears down, and all of a sudden he's not playing games. I don't want the same thing to happen to Royce O'Neale. I would really, really hate it if that were to be the case, because we're going to need all hands on deck, especially against the Celtics. I'm not super concerned with Philly. I know everybody immediately goes to, but what are they going to do about Joel Embiid? Really, the Joel Embiid thing, to me, is the same thing as the Giannis thing. You don't stop those two things. But somehow, as years go by, they seem to get stopped. You feel me? Like the Sixers never make it to the finals, they seem to get stopped with the same Joel Embiid problem. Giannis has made it out the East once, and he got the championship, but last year, the Celtics seemed to handle that. We almost beat them with just KD. I'm not super concerned about matchups like that. I think we'll be fine. I think we have the hustle, energy, and passion enough to get past those other teams. We just got to be perfect if we run into the Celtics. Because wow, do they have our number. Let me look at this box score real quick. Let me investigate what everyone did individually so I can get some real numbers for you. It was a great game, back and forth. There was times where we didn't have the lead and it was looking like, oh, are they going to choke? But then the Nets just storm on back. And shout out to everyone who didn't have to watch on NBA TV because it was horrible. At the end of the third quarter, they gave Michael B. Jordan a headset for like 5 minutes. Oh, it was unbearable. My God, it was unbearable. Shout out to everyone that has yes. Y'all are so lucky, but that's not here there. Checking out the box score. Claxton only had 6 points, but he had 12 rebounds, so we'll take that. Seth Curry, only 2 points. No, excuse me, only 6 points. It was 3 of 11. I mean, he didn't play incredible, but I mean, I thought he played fine. It was rather down to earth. Again, it was really the Patty Mills, Cam Thomas, Day'Ron Sharp show, really, but that's not here or there. Harris Huddle. Joe Harris had 3 points. He only hit 1 shot. He 3 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. For Joe Harris, that's not bad. 3, 3, and 2, that's not bad. That's the kind of stuff Ben Simmons be doing, and we give him a max contract for it. I don't understand that. But for Joe Harris, 3 assists ain't bad. For Joe, that ain't bad. Shout out Joe Harris. Kyrie Irving had 26 points. Again, nothing otherworldly, but you know, it was great. It was good. There was so much scoring from everywhere else. It didn't really matter. He almost shot 50%. He was 7 for 16. That's pretty good. He had this one like left-handed like a push shot floater in the paint with like one dude in front of him here and another dude behind him, and he still gets it with the left hand. One of the most crazy shots I've ever seen in my life. Again, Kyrie will do something every game at least once that will have your jaw on the floor. On the court, what a dude. Off the court, I ain't forget, but that's not here or there. Royce O'Neale had 14 points, shot 50%. We'll take that. He had, wait a minute. I got back up to Kyrie for a second. This man, Kyrie, had 7 rebounds and 6 assists. Shout out to, hey, now listen now. Shout out to Kyrie. That's statistically a very good game, but that's not even there. Mr. Royce O'Neale had 3 assists and 6 rebounds. I thought he had more. I thought Royce O'Neale had a double-double. With the way he was hustling to get the ball, I thought he had a double-double. But 6, that's still pretty crazy. This is where things get interesting. Patty Mills had 21 points, and he only played 26 minutes. So again, that's almost a point a minute. This man shot 7 for 12. Patty was on fire. Day'Ron Sharp had 8 points, 3 assists, and 14 rebounds. Of the words of Drake, yes! That is a monster game. Mr. Cam Thomas, in 23 minutes, scored 21 points, 8 for 13. Dare I say, was it Cam time, baby? Again, let me run that one back for you. In 23 minutes, that man had 21 points. Shout out Cam. Shout out Cam. Only had 1 assist, but he had 4 rebounds. I'll take that. When did Watanabe have 12? I don't remember that. I don't remember Watanabe having 12. I know he had a couple of cool cuts that he was eating off of all the attention that Kyrie and Cam Thomas were garnering, but I don't remember him getting 12. But anyway, as you can tell, it was a very balanced effort. This isn't one of those games where we come away from it with some type of drama or some major talking point that we need to investigate or get to the bottom of, or where there needs to be slander of some kind. Everyone played really well. Everyone stepped up. Everyone did their job. And that's really what we need to have going forward. Kyrie can't do it on his own. Kyrie shouldn't have to do it on his own. But more importantly, he can't do it on his own. But that's not either there. He shouldn't have to do it on his own. And it's nice that everyone else stepped up and had such an amazing game, especially when it was looking like we was getting punched in the mouth a little bit. We stormed back, handled our business. Wonderful performance, excellent. I have zero slander, nothing bad to say whatsoever. Shout out to the team. See? Not every video has to be me screaming in anger about something. We can have fun times. We can have good old times. One thing I will say, and I know I said I wasn't going to slander anyone, but one thing I will say, I think for Ben Simmons fans, what y'all think you're seeing is what Westbrook is doing. Like, what y'all think Ben Simmons is doing, like, y'all think he's Westbrook. And that's just not the case. Westbrook will drive to the basket 1,000,000 miles an hour, collapse the defense, and kick it to someone who's open. Ben don't do that. Ben don't do that. Ben don't do that. And even if he does drive, he's not a threat to score. And if he attempts, that joint's going everywhere but the rim. Now, I know by comparison, y'all are sitting there saying, "Oh, but it's Westbrook." But Westbrook, you gotta at least respect it. Now, he'll probably smoke the layup, but you have to at least respect it. And the velocity that this man, you know what I'm trying to say, that he has when he gets to the rim, you have to collapse. He's going 1,000,000 miles an hour. Ben don't do that. Didn't Westbrook have a triple-double too? Again, Ben don't do that. And I just think it's fascinating. Because I feel like all the things I hear from y'all supporting Ben, I literally just saw with Westbrook. Minus the defense, of course, because Westbrook don't play D. But I feel like y'all think he's Westbrook, and it's just not the case. Y'all think Ben is this stat sheet stuffer that does all these intangibles that's like the make or break of us winning games. Now, I will say I've noticed more often, especially since the Pelicans game, that Ben Simmons goes around purposefully injuring the other team, and I will applaud him for that. That's cool stuff that goes under the radar, which, I mean, you didn't hear some of the Bonds say that, of course, but I think that's interesting and that's fascinating. But outside of being a hushity-hush enforcer, I don't see what Ben does. And I don't know how Ben Simmons can sit there and watch Kyrie and the rest of the team step up in the absence of Kevin Durant and him be able to sleep at night. I mean, this man sits on the bench like it's a burden to him to even show up to the game. My guy, get out there. Isn't he day to day? Doesn't that mean he can play one game and then maybe not the next? I really don't see the point of having Ben on the team, but that's neither here nor there. I said I wasn't going to slander. He didn't even play. That was just sitting on my heart. I had to speak on it, but that's neither here nor there. Like, comment, subscribe. Sever the bond. You're here on Nets Republic. Shorter video today, allegedly. Let me check and see. Was this shorter or was this the same length? Well, last video was 30 minutes. This was like 25, so that's a part of the regular course. But maybe it just felt shorter because I didn't slander anyone outside of Ben and Kai. But that's not here or there. I wouldn't be Sever the Bond if I didn't slander them both. But I will see y'all next game. We play, I believe, Wednesday. Hopefully it is against a beatable team. We play, oh God, we play the Celtics. Well, I enjoyed this win streak. I had a good time. I hope you did. The Celtics gonna cook us, but maybe Ben Simmons will be back, and we will see what that defense do. I hope Kyrie is nice and rested because we are going to need every single ounce of whatever alleged greatness he has. I will see you on Wednesday. Hopefully celebrating a win. Maybe, I don't know.